Community and Wellbeing Officer. The Community and Wellbeing Officer advocates for and supports student mental health. They will work closely with university support services and champion student wellbeing.
Good evening, I'm Matthew Keel and I'm joined by Freddy Russell, who is running for the position of Community and Wellbeing Officer. Freddy, welcome to the studio.
Hello, thanks for having me.
No, good to have you here. So could you firstly briefly introduce yourself and explain why you want to be the Community and Wellbeing Officer for UC?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Freddy. I'm a third-year English literature student. And really I want to be Community and Wellbeing Officer because I've needed a lot of support throughout my time at uni, and I want to make sure that the support that we give to students is as valuable and helpful as possible. I just want to make sure that every student feels as kind of happy and safe as possible.
So now, if we look a bit further into your manifesto, you state in your manifesto that you want to work with different groups to build a welcoming student community on and off campus. Yeah. Could you be more specific with that? Which groups do you plan to target, and how are you going to arrange that in practice?
Yeah, definitely. So I think in terms of what we're trying to do, it would be sort of working with different groups. One of my main initiatives is to work with them to provide weekly kind of social well-being sessions, so students can take a break from their studies in kind of a social and relaxed way on campus. And in terms of the collaborations themselves, it would be different depending on which group we were working with. It might be a society, might be a student volunteering group, or it could be kind of college well-being representatives in their teams.
So you're looking to work with societies and colleges as well?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think because so much of the kind of current well-being, I don't want to say burden, but current wellbeing responsibility is placed on college committees. I think it's really important that we work with them and give them the tools and the abilities to put on great events which are designed to sort of make people feel safe and happy.
And with reference to the sort of support services, you claim that you want to streamline and standardise the university's support services. Which support services will you focus on, and what do you mean by streamline?
Yeah, absolutely. So a big one for me is sort of open door, but really I want to look at support services as more of a network. So at the minute, when a student accesses support, they can do so through a variety of different channels, but if they use all the different channels, then they might find that they sort of have to explain themselves sort of over and over to different people, to departmental wellbeing reps, to open door, to disability services, if that applies to the student. It's about sort of making student services more communicative. And in terms of the streamlining, I think that's just sort of an efficiency thing. At the minute, the wait times are really hard to cope with for a lot of students that are already in a bad spot if they're seeking support.
So with regards to Open Door, are you specifically looking to change anything about Open Door other than try and integrate it with other support services as well? Are you looking to improve anything with Open Door?
I think at times we can, like I say, sort of standardize Open Door, so we can create a bit more of a standard plan and sort of set of procedures of what to do when a student comes to you with sort of XYZ problem. And that should hopefully help speed up waiting times as well. The main thing is kind of that communication and building a real sort of support network, so that students feel more supported, feel less alone.
So you also state in your manifesto that you want to look at the cost of living crisis and that you want to freeze rent costs for students at a time when the nation is in financial struggle, including the university itself. Absolutely. So how are you going to do this with the money that we have?
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of the freezing, I just want to clarify that policy specifically targeted at sort of like on-campus accommodation. And in terms of the sort of exact financials of it, I don't have an intimate knowledge of the uni's financial situation, basically, but I think it's massively important that we find a way to do this because we need to protect our future first years, basically. So I would lobby tirelessly to get that done in whatever way we can.
And are you going to extend that support to second and third year and postgraduate students as well? Are you going to try and do something about off-campus?
Yeah, absolutely. I think at the minute the grants that we've got are great, but we need to sort of make them more accessible, open them up, and make sure they're continually funded.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. That was Freddy Russell, who is interviewing for the position of Community and Wellbeing Officer. We'll throw back over to Studio Red for the next interview in just a second.